Have you ever wondered how professional artists are so creative? How are they able to design such interesting characters, create captivating compositions, and develop unique stories so easily? You may have asked yourself, why is it so hard for me to think of a character design? Or what if I'm just not naturally creative? Well, thankfully, everyone has the potential to be creative, and it's actually super easy. Throughout the past couple months, I've been working on improving my art, and along the way, I've learned a couple things to boost my creativity. In this video, I'll share with you the things I've learned so that you can start unlocking your creative potential too. Before I get started, let's quickly dive into what creativity is. To put it simply, creativity is a combination of things that are already in your brain. No matter how hard you try to create something, if it isn't already in your brain, you won't be able to create it. To be creative is to be able to be inspired from what's around you and find ways to build upon those things by mixing in your own ideas. It's almost like an inventory and crafting system in games like Minecraft or Resident Evil. You need to collect materials to build up your inventory to craft more things. Everyone is able to be creative, it's just a matter of filling your brain with information to allow you to do so. So what can we do to be more creative? Do you just have to look around more? Is it that easy? Kinda, but it's not that simple. So let's get into it. Your visual library is probably one of your most important resources as an artist and is key to unlocking and improving your creativity. It's essentially a collection of images or information in your brain that is gained from things you've seen or experienced throughout your life. Since everyone's life is different, each person's visual library is completely unique. So how do we build our visual library? Well, it's super easy. One thing you can start doing right away is closely observing the world around you. Let's use the screen you're watching this video from as an example. You could ask yourself, what is the shape of my device and how would it look if I looked at it from a different angle? Or how does the light from my screen interact with my surroundings? Simple questions like these will help you gather details and information to add to your visual library. Using the internet is another great way of adding to your visual library, and I'm sure a lot of you already do this. Sometimes I like to spend a few minutes scrolling and saving images on social media sites like Pinterest, Instagram, or Twitter whenever I'm bored. It's important to not limit what you look at. Make sure you look at everything, even if it's not art. Let's say you want to make a character design. Instead of just looking at characters, look at other things like environments, food, maybe even kitchen appliances. Anything could give you inspiration. It's super easy to quickly save whatever you see and move on, but it's important to ask yourself questions like, why do I like this character design? What's so cool about this object? How does this image make me feel? Reflecting on these questions will help you pinpoint what resonates with you, making it easier to channel that inspiration into your future work. Throughout the past year, the one thing that expanded my visual library the most was exploring new things. I started diving into new genres of music and reading manga I never tried before, which sparked a new passion for horror and dark fantasy. Quick story time. It all started with the manga Dorohedoro. I fell in love with its gritty, dark art style and the crazy character designs. So much so that I ended up buying the full series from a manga collection. My obsession for the series didn't stop there. One day, I decided to look up Dorohedoro on Spotify and stumbled upon a song called Dorohedoro Drip by the artist Faceless17. I ended up really liking it, and from there, it was a domino effect. It opened the door to the genre of dark trap, where I discovered incredible artists like Grim Salvo, Estasha, and Santos Santana. Their music sparked my fascination for horror, which inspired me to explore it even further. I dove into horror manga like Junji Ito's works, horror games like Dead by Daylight and Silent Hill, and movies like Chucky and Ringu. Because I read Dorohedoro and ventured into a new genre of music, all these new interests came together to ignite a new passion for horror and dark fantasy, expanding my visual library with a genre I had never explored before. To put it simply, you need to explore and observe everything around you. If you explore everything possible, you will not only fill up your visual library, but also find something new that resonates with you. While I always enjoyed anime and stylized art, it never felt like something I could see myself drawing in the future. If I never explored new things, I'd still be stuck in when I found my passion drawing scary stuff. As your visual library continues to grow, you'll eventually have enough items in it to start forming ideas by combining stuff together. Remember, ideas need to be developed. They won't magically appear out of nowhere. They'll only emerge when the right pieces fall into place. Keep observing and exploring, and with time, your visual library will grow to be massive. If there's one thing that can dramatically improve your creativity and art in general, it's stepping out of your comfort zone. Growth happens when you challenge yourself to try things you wouldn't normally do. Sticking to what you know will only hold you back from discovering new possibilities. Take something as simple as drawing a rock. Don't just draw a plain, gray rock. Try different colors, interesting textures, etc. This is just one example of how you can step out of your comfort zone and be more creative. But what else can you do? An excellent way to push your boundaries and boost your creativity is doing drawing exercises, which can encourage you to be original and avoid the trap of copying others. An exercise I've been doing is something I call scribble sketches, where I scribble something on my canvas and try to turn it into something. You don't have to do scribble sketches like me. In fact, there are a wide variety of exercises you can try out that will help you improve in whatever you want to focus on. For example, you could use a random word generator to come up with 2 words and then combine them into a costume design. Or you could take an everyday item and turn it into a character, like the popular illustrator Reno Tuna does. You could even challenge yourself to sketch 5 random things every day for a week, making quick, small sketches to test out different ideas. If you find one you like, try developing that idea even further. When doing these exercises, you don't have to be perfect. The goal is to experiment and explore. If you're a perfectionist like me, it can be hard to just draw whatever comes to mind and let go of the need for everything to look correct or pretty. But you have to remember, this is just practice, not finished works of art. These drawing exercises focus on 3 main things: mixing and creating new ideas, not worrying about whether art is good or bad, and learning about what you like and don't like. They will allow you to easily get out of your comfort zone, and because of that, you'll be open to more things and become a little more creative. When I first started doing scribble sketches, I had little experience with drawing dark fantasy. The only experience I had at the time was making art for an art class. I just decided to take the leap and try it out. This here is the very first scribble sketch I did. I didn't really know what I was doing, I just went with the flow and sketched whatever came to my mind using my current knowledge. As I kept drawing more, I started to come up with ideas quicker, and by stepping out of my comfort zone, I was able to explore concepts I never would have before. Recently, I've been doing an exercise called thumbnail sketching, which I learned from artist and YouTuber Bobby Rebels, aka Draw Sessions. Thumbnail sketches are honestly the same as scribble sketches, but limit what I can draw. Despite this, it allows me to really use my imagination because I'm forced to draw within certain constraints. These are a couple that I've done. I wouldn't say that they're the best designs, some I'm honestly not even the biggest fan of, but the most important takeaway is that I got the practice and I was able to explore some new ideas. Take this sketch as an example. I don't really like the design, but I think the concept is pretty cool and I'd love to revisit it again in the future. If I never tried scribble sketches or ventured into dark fantasy, my creativity in art wouldn't have evolved as much as it has in the past year. Stepping out of my comfort zone wasn't easy, but it's had the biggest impact on my growth as an artist in more aspects than just creativity. If you're interested, I'd love to share more about how it has helped in a future video. I believe reference boards are an extremely beneficial tool that can be even more powerful when paired with someone who's really creative. Rather than making a mental image of a design, it's much easier to pull all the information from your visual library and lay it out in a reference board to get a better picture of what a design may look like. Whenever I want to design something, the first thing I do is create a reference board to gather and lay out all my ideas. The program I use for my reference boards is PureRef. It's free and it's probably the best reference board app out there. But hold on, at this point you're probably wondering, aren't reference boards super simple? What more is there besides putting images on the board? Trust me, reference boards can get super in-depth and can honestly get a video of their own. But for this video, I'll just share with you some of the basics. You want to begin your reference boards with a very basic idea and build upon it. So for example, let's say we want to design a zombie monster. The next step would be to think of other things that relate to the idea of zombies, such as zombie hordes, viruses, maybe even games you've played that involve zombies. Once you've compiled enough ideas in your board, look deeper into each of them. Take certain aspects from the things you like and see how you could incorporate them into a design. The bigger your visual library is, the easier this process will be for you and the more creative your final product will be. As you can see, even with just a couple ideas, I was able to dissect them and form a brand new idea for a design. Imagine what I could have done if I added even more to the reference board. Reference boards aren't just for gathering images to help you draw certain things, they're a powerful tool that can be used to explore new ideas and take them to the next level while also improving your creativity. At the end of the day, creativity can't really be taught. Creativity depends on your brain and how you experience the world around you. I can look at an orange and my first thought would be pirates and scurvy, while someone else's would be orange trees. Creativity is something that needs to be nurtured and built upon. No one is naturally talented to be creative. Thanks for watching my first video. I'm planning to make more videos like this in the future, so if it was helpful in any way, subscribe so you don't miss the next. Also, feel free to leave a comment on what I can improve, what you would like to see in the future, or just your general thoughts. Consume, admire, and appreciate the art in everything around you, and with time, you'll unlock your full creative potential. Peace.